All of you turn page number 17. Look at these sentences from the story. Now I will read a story. Just observe the sentences. I spotted it in a junk shop in Bridport. Spotted. Repeat after me. Spotted.
Spotted.
Spot.
Spot.
Spotted.
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 Spot means V1. Spotted V2. Spotted V3. Repeat after me. The man said.
The man said
It was made
it was made
in the early 19th century.
in the early 19th century.
Said.
Said.
Say, said, said.
Said.
V1, V2, V3. Made.
Made.
Make, made, made.
Made.
Is, was. It's an helping verb. Was an auxiliary verb. Okay. This one was
This one was
in a bad condition.
in a bad condition.
Was. Now we can understand that
Now we can understand that
if you want to say anything in the past which was happened already, we need to use V2. We need to use now. A man got
a man got
on the train
on the train
and sat down.
and sat down.
The compartment was empty
The compartment was empty
except for
except for
one lady.
one lady.
She took her gloves off.
She took her gloves off.
A few hours later,
A few hours later,
the police arrested the man.
the police arrested the man.
They held him
They held him
for 24 hours
for 24 hours
and then
and then
freed him.
freed him.
Now you can observe all this passage is in past tense, and what are the V2 forms, verb forms? You just underline that. Got, was, took, arrested, held, freed. If you want to say something which was already happened, we need to use in simple past. Simple past, the verb form would be V2. For simple past, the verb form would be. Now, I will give another example. Now, look at these sentences. The veneer
The veneer
had lifted
had lifted
almost everywhere.
almost everywhere.
Both fire and water
Both fire and water
had taken their toll
had taken their toll
on their dusk.
on their desk.
On this dusk.
On this desk.
Had lifted.
Had lifted.
Underline these two words. Almost everywhere. Had taken.
Had taken.
This is called past perfect. If you observe had, if you identify the word had, then you should understand that that sentence is in past perfect. That sentence is in
Past perfect.
all perfect follows by V3. Had plus V3, have plus V3, has plus V3, will have plus V3. V3 should be used for perfect tense. Had, repeat after me, had lifted,
Had lifted.
had taken.
Had taken.
Suppose two past actions were taken place in single sentence, then you need to use past perfect had for earlier action which was already done, and simple past for the next action. Repeat after me. The author found and bought
The other found and bought
the dusk in the past.
the desk in the past.
The dusk was damaged
The desk was damaged
before the author found it
before the author found it
and bought it.
and bought it.
Found it and bought it. Which one happened first? Found it or bought it?
Found it.
First we need to find it, then
Bought it.
Bought it. Yes. Fire and water had damaged
Fire and water and damage.
the desk before the other,
The desk before the order.
found it
Found it
and bought it.
and got it.
We use web forms
We use web forms.
like had damaged
Damage.
for an event
For event.
in the earlier past.
Earlier past.
If there are two events in the past,
If there are two events in the past,
we use the had
we use the had
form
form
for the event that occurred
for the event that occurred
first in the past.
first in the past.
We also use the past perfect tense
We also use the past perfect tense
to show that
to show that
something was wished for
something was wished for
or expected
or expected
before a particular time in the past.
before a particular time in the past.
For example,
For example,
I had always wanted one.
I had always wanted one.
I had.
I had.
Okay, now discuss your partner and the difference in meaning in the sentences below. Now, when I reached the station,
When I reached the station,
the train
the
left.
train left.
If the train already left, then how can we use this sentence? When I reached the station,
When I reached the station,
the train had left.
the train had left.
Whenever you find had past perfect, you need to understand that was the earlier action.